The first and most terrible reason of all, the irresponsible attitudes of the owners. 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. In my video where I presented my new dream of making every Japan lover's dream come true, I introduced a list of social problems in Japan that concern me. Taking a look at some of the comments on that video, it seemed like everyone was especially surprised about the fact that Japan kills cats and dogs at the highest rate than anywhere else in the world. It is very sad, but this is true. But why would such a horrible thing happen? Today, I would like to explain the situation of slaughtering cats and dogs in Japan, as well as 3 reasons why this problem is happening. At the end of the video, I would like to introduce 5 ways that are proposed by some animal protection NGOs to stop and end this horrible situation. Even if you get confused somewhere during the story, that's okay. I will wrap everything up again at the end of the video in today's conclusion. それでは本日も参りましょう。First, let's understand the situation of the slaughters of cats and dogs in Japan. According to the latest data from the Ministry of Environment, 8,932 adult cats, 18,176 kittens, 4,854 adult dogs, and 1,051 puppies were killed during April 19th to March 2020. As you can see from this graph of 2015, the number in Japan is enormous compared to other countries. How is this happening? It is mainly due to these 2 laws. First, the Rabies Prevention Law. This law determines that the government agency must capture stray dogs, including lost ones, to prevent the spread of rabies. Second, the Animal Protection Law. Due to this law, the government agency must take care of the pets when the owners ask them to, in order to avoid the owners abandoning them and letting them go wild. These captured cats and dogs will be taken to the government facilities called Hokenjo health centers or 動物愛護センター animal protection centers. I think it's very ironic they call it an animal protection center. Ideally, the cats and dogs housed in these facilities should be kept alive. But in reality, there is no such budget because all costs are covered by taxes. Inevitably, it is necessary to reduce the number of cats and dogs at some point, which leads to slaughtering them. As a general rule, the cats and dogs taken care of by the government agency will be slaughtered unless the owner requests to return them within 3 days. However, the specific number of days varies by each city. Currently, keeping the cats and dogs in boxes and suffocating them to death using carbon dioxide is the main method for a slaughter. Next, let's take a closer look at the 3 main reasons why the number of slaughtered cats and dogs is so overwhelming compared to other countries. 1. The owners abandon their pets. 2. The pet shops, breeders abandoning sick and old pets. 3. People giving food to stray cats and dogs. 1. The owners abandon their pets. The first and most terrible reason of all, the irresponsible attitudes of the owners. When the owners bring their pets to the government facilities to abandon them, they must state the reason why they are doing it. While some of the reasons are somewhat understandable, other reasons are just too horrible and egocentric. They have grown up and are no longer cute. They accidentally got pregnant and can't take care of the kittens or puppies. It's hard to nurse for an old cat or dog. They don't obey what they are told and are too loud. They stink more than expected. I'll stop here because I can imagine many people watching this video who are as or more angry than I am hearing these unbelievable reasons. I really want to believe that these are the most extreme of owners, but it's still very shocking. Some people think that the lives of these animals are just things that can be bought with money and can be discarded anytime you want, like garbage without hesitation. 2. The pet shops, breeders abandoning sick and old pets. The pet industry is a very big business in Japan. In 2018, the market size was about 1.5 trillion yen and has been gradually growing since. In order to give enough supply to such an enormous market, there are many breeders who raise cats and dogs, and pet shops that sell them. But obviously, not all the cats and dogs will find an owner that will buy them. Cats and dogs that have gotten sick or have gotten too old to be sold at pet shops will be taken away to the government facilities too. 3. People giving food to stray cats and dogs. There are many people who think they are doing something good by feeding the stray animals, but in reality, it is the complete opposite. The cats and dogs might seem happy at that moment, but it will eventually lead to them breeding and growing in number. And of course, these new precious and innocent lives will be taken to the facilities to be killed because they are stray animals. I understand that it's hard to watch a cat or dog starving outside, but giving them food is surely not a solution or a wise option. It's sad, but the cycle needs to end somewhere in order to stop the sad situation. Although the number of slaughters are still overwhelming, it is widely believed that the number is gradually decreasing every year. These are the 3 most commonly known reasons for the decrease. 1. The change of the laws regarding government facilities taking charge of pets. 2. The help of private volunteers. 3. False numbers. 1. The change of the laws regarding government facilities taking charge of pets. Earlier in the video, I explained due to the animal protection law, the government agencies must take charge of the cats and dogs when the owner asks them to. However, a new rule has been set in 2012 that allows the government agencies to decline these requests of owners under certain circumstances. For example, if it cannot be confirmed that it is difficult for the owner to take care of his or her pet, or if the owner has done no prior efforts to find a transferee. Because the government agencies have specified reasons for rejecting pets, it prevents malicious breeders from throwing away sick cats and dogs. Also, the new guideline has helped to reject the requests from citizens too. So it is believed that the change of laws have helped reduce the number of slaughters. 2. The help of private volunteers. Thanks to the private volunteer groups taking over part of the jobs like storage and the transfer of animals, which are originally done by government agencies, the number of slaughtered cats and dogs are decreasing. These private volunteer groups gather donations and try to take care of as many cats and dogs as long as possible. They call out for foster parents that will help raise the animals together and are constantly working towards spreading the correct knowledge about the terrible situation and how to stop it. Some even run cats and dogs cafes in order to create a sustainable system. It has been confirmed in 2018 that there is about 10 to 70% difference in the slaughter rate between 90 cities that transfer the animals to volunteer groups and 25 cities that do not. 3. False numbers. Unfortunately, some say that it just appears that the number of slaughter has decreased numerically due to the local governments rewriting the definition of the word slaughter without permission. For example, in 2017, it was announced that the number of dogs slaughtered in Tokyo was just 10. However, if you take a closer look at the statistical data released by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, there are items such as lethal slaughter due to animal welfare and death after containment. And it can be seen that 19 dogs actually died that year. The reason these dogs are not counted in the number of slaughter is that the Tokyo Metropolitan Government defines that lethal slaughter due to animal welfare is not considered as slaughter. What do they mean by animal welfare, right? The definition is very ambiguous, and it can differ by how each person comprehends it. Many point out that the government facilities just want to say they're putting effort into lessening the number of slaughters to stop the complaints from animal protection groups. Although the Ministry of the Environment has provided rough guidelines about the definition of slaughtering, the final decision is left to each local government. It is likely that the definition of slaughter and animal welfare are different depending on the city. So sadly, the number might not be as decreasing as we hope it to be. No one knows for sure. But lastly, let's talk about what we can do to stop this tragedy. As far as I have done some research, these 5 things are the most commonly presented by the animal protection groups. 1. The pet owners acquiring correct knowledge about keeping animals. 2. Stop buying pets at pet shops and adopt them from the government facilities. 3. Stop giving food to stray animals. 4. Volunteering or donating to animal protection groups. 5. Changing the laws. 1. The pet owners acquiring correct knowledge about keeping animals. As I have introduced earlier, there are some pet owners who abandon or do terrible things to their pets due to the lack of correct knowledge. First of all, you should never blindly purchase a living animal. According to the data from the Japan Fair Trade Commission, it is estimated that about 13.5% of people meet their pets and make impulsive purchases within 24 hours. However, many of these people end up ruthlessly abandoning these innocent animals due to selfish reasons like they won't shut up, they can't be potty trained, or it costs a lot more money than expected. Second, you must do everything to not lose your cats and dogs. Every year, there are thousands of lost pets that are captured by the government agency. They get lost mostly because the owners keep their pets in their yard or the front of their houses, not wanting the cats and dogs to get the house dirty. If the pets do not have collars with the owner's contact information when they get lost, there's a risk they will be captured and slaughtered by the government agency because they only have an average of 3 days for the owner to show up before getting killed. Also, the cats and dogs that get run over by cars while they are lost are not included in the list of official slaughter. Some say this number of pets that die from car accidents are more than 3 times the number of those that get killed at the facilities. Although it is painful, it is also important to have the cats and dogs castrated. This alone will definitely prevent unexpected pregnancies. It is terrible how some people would breed their pets just for fun without any knowledge of how to take care of newborn kittens and puppies. They will end up taking these newly born lives to the government facilities, or worse, throwing them away in the streets. 2. stop buying pets at pet shops and adopt them from the government facilities. People can actually take home the cats and dogs that are captured at the government facilities as pets. This will help the owners to not participate in the pet distribution industry. Today, I have been introducing about the number of cats and dogs officially slaughtered by the government agency. But sadly, some studies point out that in 2017, there were twice more deaths during the distribution of the pets compared to the slaughtering. So the more the people buy the animals at pet shops, the bigger they are making this number. I mentioned earlier that the pet industry has actually been growing for the past 10 years. However, many people in Japan believe that the cats and dogs at the government facilities all have some kind of disease, and it's rarely known that it's completely safe to adopt them. According to the studies done by the Japan Pet Food Association, more than 60% of the people who own dogs did not even know about the existence of these facilities in the first place. If you want to own a cat or a dog, you must first think of the option of adopting them from the health and the animal protection centers. Also, it would be best to notify friends and acquaintances who are about to buy pets about the existence of these facilities to reduce the number of slaughtering. 3. Stop giving food to stray animals. Giving food to stray cats and dogs is one of the main reasons I introduced as to why this problem is happening in the first place. Stopping this is one of the crucial factors upon decreasing the number of slaughters. There are some people who say, starving a hungry stray animal itself is animal cruelty. However, you must understand that if you're going to be feeding one cat or dog, you have to have enough money and time to care for 10 to 20 more in the near future. This includes not only the expenses for food, but the surgical fee for castration and shelter for all the newborn lives. Most people don't understand that their actions of feeding that they believe is justice will eventually make 10 to 100 times more innocent lives suffer. It is surely not an action of justice, but just an action of ignorance. By the way, recently some cities in Japan started local cat activities. The city specifies where to feed the stray cats and castrate some of them using gathered donations or city taxes in order to control the number. Unless your city has such a local rule, you should never irresponsibly feed stray animals. 4. Volunteering or donating to animal protection groups. Working as a volunteer or providing money and goods as donations to animal protection groups is another way to help. In recent years, new systems such as the Certified NPO Corporation System has been created. By donating to organizations engaged in cats and dogs protection activities, companies and individuals can actually save taxes. With such new systems, the government has succeeded in attracting both the companies that want to donate, but there is no reason to convince the entire organization to spend money there, and the individuals who have never had a chance. Going to the front line of conservation activities in form of volunteers or logistical support in the form of donations are both very meaningful things you can do in reducing the slaughters of cats and dogs. 5. Changing the laws. Lastly, changing the laws regarding pets and pet shops will improve the situation a lot. For example, many animal protection groups in Japan believe that we should follow the way Germany handles this problem. We should tax the people more who are owning pets and limit the number of animals that a breeder can breed at once, and regulate the area size of the pet shops. You might think, Yeah, these laws would definitely tackle the problem. Let's do it right away, like I thought. But it seems it's not that simple. There are people in the pet industry who argue that this is just an ideal theory because by enforcing these laws, there will be at least 130,000 cats and dogs that will have to be disposed of in order to follow the new rules. Many pet owners would probably get rid of their pets to avoid paying new taxes. And the breeders and pet shops will inevitably have to abandon their animals to follow the regulations. Many people in the pet industry will probably lose their jobs too. So although it's tantalizing, we obviously can't change the laws that easily. Then lastly, today's conclusion. Japan slaughters cats and dogs at the highest rate than anywhere else in the world. The rabies prevention law and animal protection law determines the government agency to capture stray dogs or the pets that have been brought in by their owners who want to abandon them. These cats and dogs will be imprisoned at the government facilities and will be slaughtered within an average of 3 days. There are mainly 3 reasons why such a horrible situation exists. 1. The owners abandon their pets. The pet owners, without enough knowledge, are ruthlessly wasting the animals' lives by abandoning them for unbelievable reasons. 2. The pet shops, breeders abandoning sick and old pets. The enormous market size of the pet industry is about 1.5 trillion yen. In order to provide enough supply to the market, the breeders raise and pet shops sell tons of cats and dogs. However, the ones that got sick or got too old will be taken to the government facilities. 3. People giving food to stray cats and dogs. By the irresponsible actions of local residents feeding stray cats and dogs, there are innocent newly born lives that will be taken to the facilities to be killed. The number of slaughtered cats and dogs seem to have decreased over the years due to the facilities being able to reject those bringing in pets and the help of private volunteers. However, no one knows for sure if the data is accurate, because some cities are rewriting the definition of the word slaughter without permission. There are 5 ways commonly presented by animal protection groups to stop this tragedy. 1. The pet owners acquiring correct knowledge about keeping animals. 2. Stop buying pets at pet shops and adopt them from the government facilities. 3. Stop giving food to stray animals. 4. Volunteering or donating to animal protection groups. 5. Changing the laws. Although the situation will not easily change overnight, each and every person has to do what they can in order to solve the problem, step by step. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If this video helped you to learn about a new side of Japan, please hit the like button to let me know. And my goal is to achieve 100,000 subscribers by January 2022, so your help would mean a lot. In this channel, we can take a closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on traveling to Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. どうもありがとうございました。Everyone, once again, thank you very much for watching this video and welcome to the Omake Talk. Today, I actually have my wife, Harumi, here with me. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi.
And because I've actually never owned a cat nor a dog in Japan before, but Harumi in her home city, Fukuoka, where your parents, where your family lives, they own 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Is that correct? And you were with them when you bought the 2 dogs at the pet shop, like over 10 years ago, I believe. Yeah.
When I was high school student.
When you were a high school student, you went to the pet shop together with your family to buy them. Yes. So I would like to ask you about like what was it like when you actually bought the dogs at the pet shop?
まあそうだね。購入するっていう手続きをするときに、そのまあいろいろあるんだけど、これが契約書ですとかもいろいろあるんだけど、
So they prepare you kind of like a contract kind of thing to buy it first of all.
そうそうそう。で必要なものを準備してとかしていく中で、必ずそのワンちゃん猫ちゃんは家族なのでみたいな、その赤ちゃんから大きくなって老後まで一人の家族として新しい家族として迎え入れてあげてくださいみたいなことをわざわざ言うっていうシーンが2回ともあったから。
So as you purchase the dogs at the pet shops, the staff there, when you're doing the paperwork or such, they would explain you repeatedly about that the dog that you're going to be buying is a part of the family, a family member, and you need to be responsible to take care of their lives from being puppies, kittens to until they die, right? So they tell you bought, and you were saying that you bought the 2 dogs from 2 different pet shops, but both of the pet shops did the same things, right? They explained to you repeatedly about how important it is to be responsible. Okay. Anything else you were saying?
いや、まあそれは共通点としてあったなと思って、まあ言うようにはしてるんだろうなと思うんだけど。
I think it's probably a rule. Yeah, they need to say that, I think. Okay.
ただその責任感なく買う人が多いからわざわざ言うようにしてるんかもしれんしね。
Okay. So that means everyone who buys cats and dogs in Japan would probably take that explanation from the staff members at the pet shops, but still do these horrible things to them then. Okay. Then it doesn't mean that the pet shops aren't doing what they should. They're probably doing their best, of course, to avoid, these bad things, these tragedies I explained today. Okay. That's really interesting. I've never actually bought a cat or dog before in Japan, so okay, thank you so much. So Harumi and I were saying that, we believe that this is a very big problem in Japan that should be solved, and we're hoping in the near future we are able to maybe on a monthly basis, maybe we can donate some money to these animal protection NGOs. There are a lot of these groups in Japan where they receive, monthly donations. You can just like register your account kind of thing, and it like takes it from your bank account and such. We're hoping we can do this in the future once we have a little bit more resources. We might be able to do this. So okay, all right, so thank you very much for watching this video, and please tell us your opinions or how you see this problem or your situation in your country. I would love to know about that too. So all right, everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. Goodbye.
Bye.